Hello and welcome to Athena's Creations 2017 on YouTube, on replay later, or live in our Facebook group, Athena's Creations. Tonight, I am going to demonstrate for you the 4 fun cards in the February 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit, plus 4 alternatives. And we're going to take apart the envelope, and I'm going to show you the instructions on how to come up with the dimensions for making your own envelopes, just using your paper trimmer from Stampin' Up. So thank you so much for joining me. I've been an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator since 2017. And I'm very excited to share with you my Athena originals, as I call them, when I think outside the box and just enjoy the love of stamping and the creativity that the Paper Pumpkin gives me each and every month. And I like to share those with you. So we'll go ahead and point the camera down and get started tonight. And one moment while I adjust the camera. Oops, that didn't do it. Okay, let me try to do this so it doesn't. There we go. Don't want to make you dizzy there. Okay. I think I'm going to try to bring it closer to the project so you can see. But I definitely wanted to share with y'all what's inside the box and everything that comes with the kit. Every month it's a new kit, a new design. And with the Paper Pumpkin, you get all of the adhesive that you need. This one came with all of these dimensionals. I just used the ones I have currently. It also comes with the tear and tape and the twine, which I am actually using other adhesive. I use glue dots a lot. And then of course this month Paper Pumpkin came with the Ink Spot Petunia Pop, really, really beautiful in color. And then the stamp set, excuse me, that you get with this, Stampin' Up has had great artwork and the design, and they share this with us so that we will know exactly what's in here. And we've got die cuts for these 2. It's Happy Easter, Hello Spring, To a Wonderful Friend, Sending Love for You, excuse me. And also it coordinates, which I love about Stampin' Up, everything coordinates with the Grow with Love bundle that comes with all of these dies. And this, I guess I'm going to call it the envelope die. It also comes with this one. And I'm using on one of my alternatives from our online exclusive, which this is an online exclusive. I was surprised. I thought this was going to be the... excuse me, I thought it was going to be part of the catalog, the mini catalog, but it turns out it's an online exclusive. So I'm pretty excited about that because the online exclusives, sometimes they stick around a little bit longer than the catalogs, but this one's a lot of fun, and I had a lot of ideas when we got the sneak peek. I'm trying to maneuver this camera so that it can get closer to the project here. One moment. Let's see. Well, hopefully I can bring that close in so you can see it. And so, as you can see, I still have a few pieces from the kit left, and then some extra cardstock that I brought in, and used some of the die cuts from the Grow with Love bundle because it all coordinates. And of course, our Spring is in the Air dies. I got out, I didn't use it, but I got out I did use the Bumblebee on one of my alternatives, and the Honeycomb. And these 2 I went ahead and stamped, and I already die cut those out just to save a little bit of time on some of the alternatives. And then these are the few pieces that are left. I think that's... It's a blue, and I don't know if that's peacock, pretty peacock, or if that's baby blue. But anyway, I do have a few things left over, and I still have lots to share. And then this, I'm calling it the envelope die, part of the Grow with Love bundle, makes this envelope. And then what came in the kit was this decorative envelope, which is amazing. Love it. I love challenges, and it was definitely a fun challenge to figure out all the card dimensions from that and to work with some alternatives. And I have almost all of it on the desk, and I always like to walk you through the process of my creativity, hopefully to inspire you. We'll make the 3 cards just as instructed, and then we'll move along. This one I did bring in those little, they're called itty bitty birds. No, excuse me, bees. Tiny bee trinkets. They have an official name. And they are tiny, but they're so, so cute. They're gold. You get 40 per container. When I had the idea of the bees, they pollinate everything. And then the stamp set is, I just had that. It's chives. And I had to do some research because I couldn't remember that. I didn't realize too that the chives have a flower, that it flowers, and then anything that has a flower, a bee is going to pollinate it. So I brought those in. I thought that would be a nice element to add in. And then I cut up one of the card bases. So I have so much to share, I don't know where to start. But let's go ahead and get started. First, let's just go through the process of the envelope. I basically deconstructed it, and then I got my handy ruler out that has all of the dimensions and all of the inches and everything. And I tore it apart. I tore the envelope apart. So it was closed up just like this. And then I opened it and I measured it. And it's an approximate measurement because, of course, this is cut out. And you can see that I did the same thing. When I measured it, I realized it's 9 1/4 by 8 1/2. Scored on the 9 1/4 side at 2 1/2 and 6 7/8. Then on the 8 1/2 inch side, scored at 1 3/4 and 7 1/2. And that's what I did here. I basically cut off the 4 ends. Then we have this little flap here, and I just curved it around with the pair of scissors. It's not exact, and so it's pretty tight. So it's going to fold just like that, like the original. And so this is going to be your envelope that you can make with your cardstock. So this paper, it's not cardstock, it's envelope. So it's, I guess it's a little bit thinner, and the cardstock is thick. So that's why I said the measurements are an approximate. You could play around with it depending on if you use cardstock like I did, because when you're mailing something, you want it to be thick, right? You don't want it to fall apart. But you could definitely do this with your designer paper. It's kind of that texture if you wanted to do that. You know, just have a, but again, you can decorate the envelope. And it's big enough, which is another thing I wanted to share. It's big enough that if you wanted to send it in the mail, you can, along with some seeds. Now, I haven't taken one to the post office yet, but I will. I probably should have before today, so I could tell you exactly what the postage is, but I'm pretty sure first class should work because it should go right through the machine. So I went to one of the dollar stores and I found some thyme, I found some basil, and I found some chives. I didn't quite see rosemary or mint, but I did, or rosemary, but I did see thyme, basil, and you can definitely include your cards with that. And of course, 2 weeks ago, I had a fun fold with a happy birthday, and I had an idea for the seeds. So I'm going to share that with you tonight as well. Again, cardstock. And here it is again. If you want to do a quick screenshot, I just basically deconstructed the envelope, opened it up, got my ruler out to see where I needed to score. And you'll need a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock or designer paper. And there you have it. You could definitely use your envelopes as cards. There's a lot of real estate there you could use. So that's how you can make the envelopes. And then, of course, the creative designs that I come up with, I just basically get some cardstock that is coordinating, and Stampin' Up! Again, they're awesome. Everything coordinates, And they give you basic beige, bubble bath, lemon lime twist, Lost Lagoon, old olive, petunia pop, and bronze. To me, it looks gold, but it's bronze, and I just used gold for the bee. This is everything that's included in the kit. It's going to make 9 cards with the 9 decorative envelopes. And we're going to put all 3 of these together exactly as is. But before I did that, I got the Grow with Love bundle out and I just started to stamp. I got the Old Olive ink and I stamped it on Old Olive cardstock and the basic beige, and I really love this combination of color. I really think that's just super creative. The coordination is gorgeous. I used a punch on some of my extra pieces, and then I stamped from the stamp set. And then this one, I wasn't sure about an alternative with these, but that was my first creative process to come up with some of my alternatives. All right, moving on. Let's see, because we've got a lot of fun things to cover tonight. We've got the 3 cards. This is card number 1. And it looks like all of the stuff is in here, all of the pieces. And that's the size of a regular envelope. It just looks different. Like a seed packet envelope is what it looks like. It's really fancy. I really like it. But really, that is exactly the envelope, just like a regular envelope. It just, like I said, it looks really, really fancy, and I love that. Let's see. All right, so here's all of the pieces for card number 1. And then I'll just give you a real quick sneak peek of some of my Athena originals. So happy Easter. And of course, you know, I made a couple of fun folds. And then this one will be the last one we do, and it'll be a fun surprise. So you're going to want to stick around or fast forward or rewind, whatever it is that works for you. And let's go ahead. I guess I'll leave that on the side. We'll put these together as is. Hopefully I can find everything. It's been a hot minute since I played with this. And so this one, let's see. Actually, there's a stamp that at first I did not know what it was for until I put it on the block, and I realized that this stamp right here is that design on the cards, and so I've used those, which is kind of cool. Thanks for helping me grow. Sending love to a wonderful friend. Happy hello spring. Happy Easter. That's pretty fancy. And then, of course, it comes with all the stuff that you need and shows you exactly what you need to put it together. I'm not real fond of twine. That's just my own personal preference. I think part of it is as I get older, I have trouble making bows with twine. It's just super fine and real tiny, but it does look good on these cards. Maybe I'll get it out after all. But they use it, it looks like, on all 3 cards. And although, yes, we're going to do exactly as it's shown, I may or may not use that twine. And so we've got basil, and we have mint, and we have chives. Now on the chives, we're going to get out our petunia pop, our in color that's carrying over. Absolutely love. It's one of my favorites. I love all the pinks and the purples. I just love all those colors. And this is the little flower for the chive that we're going to stamp on there before we assemble. And you could get some basic beige cardstock and you can stamp, oh, here it is. You could stamp this one, giving that design. So this can be done, you can make more cards based on what's left over, the stamp set, once you've utilized all the ingredients that come with it. And it looks like we're going to stamp it twice. And we're going to stamp, thanks for helping me grow. I think that one's not on a block yet. I'll go ahead and put that on a block. want to make sure I move everything up so you can see what I'm doing. Let me grab one of my blocks over here. Thanks for helping me grow. And I'm putting this on a C block. And I don't know about you, but I like to prime my photopolymer, and I just get out my Stampin' Up! Versamark. And I will stamp with it. On a little sticky note. Let's just use some memento. Thanks for helping me grow. This would be great for a teacher gift. You could definitely put, you know, seeds, seed packet. You could put gift card, all kinds of fun things. Because again, this envelope, very, very fancy. Very fancy. All right, let's see. All right, that one is primed and ready to go. And we're going to use Petunia Pop. One of my favorites. And it looks like we're going to put Petunia Pop right there. And we're going to put one right there. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh yes, and we're also going to use it on this pink. Thanks for helping me grow. Photopolymer is great. You can see exactly where you're stamping. Okay. So it looks like we're going to put, looks like they're doing tear and tape and dimensionals. So I guess this is kind of the trick here, right? In the middle, you want to put a little adhesive. I thought I had one of these open already. Let me just open that one. You get all these great bags that you can use for other things later. There's the beginning of it. And you basically just gonna work the back of it, kind of like a little, I don't know what you call it, like a little loop. Then another little loop coming back around. That's why you got that little sticky in the middle. And then just snip it off. So I guess we are going to go ahead and use that one. And then 2 dimensionals. And I always like to use what I've got on hand already. And I'm just going to, just for good measure, 3 right down smack dab in the middle. There we go. And that's going to be the last thing. And it's showing tear and tape to adhere these pieces, but I'm just going to use my Stampin' Up! Seal. This one's going to go there. This is such a fun kit. This almost, the color combination here, it looks like it's Lost Lagoon, and it's a combination of Old Olive. So of course this is great because I didn't know that's how you would color the mint on here. So to me this is a great idea to replicate using your Grow with Love stamp bundle. And if I haven't said it before, I think I'm going to say it again. This this year, 2025, the paper pumpkins every month are getting better and better. And although I'm putting the February paper pumpkin together with you tonight and some alternatives, I have to emphasize you do not want to miss out on next month's, because there's going to be a bonus stamp set in it. It's going to be the anniversary month for paper pumpkin. And it's going to be amazing. If you remember the August 2022, that wildflower kit or sunflowers, whatever it was called, it sold out completely. Pretty crazy, huh? Let's see. I want to make sure this is all going to be on there. There we go. Now for this kit, there weren't any like embellishments or sequins or anything like that, but it really doesn't need it. It's so nice. So you could put some flower packets in there and send that off into the mail. You could even say, happy birthday. Be a great teacher card. Let's see. Limited space here. I'm just trying to, I think that's everything for that card number 1. And this just shows you what goes with each card. Ah, there we go. I just needed to flip it over one more page. So now we're going to do card number 2. And honestly, this one's going to be hard to do as is. And let me show you what I mean. This particular card, it looks like it opens this direction. So it's almost backwards, like upside down when you turn it, right? And this one would look so good on top of the beige, but we'll do it as is, like I promised. And this one we're going to stamp to a wonderful friend on this one. And this one looks kind of like a ticketed, which is what kind of gave me the idea to bring out, let's see what I did with them. Excuse me. The perennial postage dies, which are in the main catalog. It's kind of that ticketed, and of course, the Grow with Love dies have that ticketed look as well. So you could, like I said, you can replicate this long after all the pieces are used up. You can use the stamp set from it. All right, so the first thing that it's showing for us to do on the instructions is to put some adhesive on the back of this one. There's my little bumblebee. This one's right down the middle. Take your pick tool is great. It's got that little gummy on the back that picks up little pieces and paper and such. And so then we've got all of these little pieces that were included. And it looks like the first one's going to be this one. Let's put that one down right there. And then it looks like the time is going to be next. Right about there. And then basil next. And then our mint. Oh, I realized these are all supposed to be on dimensionals. So let's do the last one on dimensionals. It would help if I looked at the instructions, but that's okay. Now this one we're just going to cut up because I like to use all the pieces possible. There we go. So we're going to put one there. almost goofed. So we're gonna stamp and then we'll put that one on so that we'll have that on there. Let's see. It's going to be with Petunia Pop. I really like all of these colors together. To a Wonderful Friend. And according to the instructions, we're going to stamp to the right. This is bubblegum color. Or no, bubble bath. I don't know why I want to say bubblegum. Bubble bath. And this one, it looks like it's going to be on dimensionals as well. And it's going to have that in the middle because we're going to do the same thing that we did before for that one. And we're going to use dimensionals for the side. Let's see, let's do a smaller one. One there. And one on this other side. Meanwhile, we're going to do the same thing. Just going to give it a little loop. And then a loop on this side. Just like that. And then give it a snip. When making bows with that, I don't necessarily like to do, but this I think is going to work out just fine. Go ahead and cover up that one. Take that off. This is a really fun kit. Now we can put our mint right there. Isn't that fun? So we've got that little bit there. And that's how easy the card comes together. Everything is ready to go. All the supplies are cut and ready for you to stamp and assemble. If you haven't gotten yourself a paper pumpkin kit, you definitely should treat yourself because you're worth it. It's fun. To me, it's so very relaxing. And the instructions are in color. I love that. It's simple. And of course, you know, I always give you some ideas and samples. Here we go with some chives. Get to stamp some more chives on there. Let's see. All right, so we need to stamp our chives on here first, and then we're going to stamp Hello Spring. You could even probably bring in some butterflies if you wanted. That would look really good. There we go. Let's see. Yep, there's the Hello Spring. And then, of course, if you have the, I think it's retired. It's the 1.5, but I think it's 1 1/4 would work. Or maybe if you have a die that's about that size, you could definitely use that. Again, extending the kit beyond the ingredients that are included. Hello Spring. And we're going to put our chive flower right there. And we're going to put one up here, just like the instructions. The alternative that I've worked on, that I'm going to share, has several. Okay, so we've got our little base here. And again, this one you can replicate with the Grow with Love bundle. I'm excited to see what's going to coordinate with next month's kit. I don't have a clue yet, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. You definitely don't want to miss out. If it's anything like the 2022 August Paper Pumpkin Kit, and I suspect it is, it will sell out. So you may even want to order an extra kit or two. Who knows if there'll be refills. All right, so next we're going to put this one on dimensionals. There we go. We're using all the pieces so none of it goes to waste. And it looks like you can go ahead and put this one on there. Let's see, that looks about right. And then, looks like dimensionals for the circle. And what looks like one dimensional on that one. But again, a little bit of adhesive for the middle there. And we'll do the same thing that we did with the first two cards. We'll make a little loop. Come back with the loop on that side. And then snip it. That's a real easy way of using that twine. And then oh, I didn't take the sticky off. Yeah, that would help if I took the little sticky thing off. All right. And then next is Hello Spring. You could say Happy Easter, which is included in this one. And that is our card number 3 from the kit. And so now, on to some Athena Originals. It's so nice and so simple. I love, love, love these. They're so fun. So you're definitely worth it. You should definitely treat yourself. Now the little envelope, I just wanted to share that real quick too. Kind of a 3D here. I realized that I'm not answering anybody's comments. Oh, hey, Sandra, I didn't realize you had joined. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sometimes I get so involved, I just kind of space out. Okay, so this one, again, Hello Spring, brought in some of that ribbon that's in the online exclusives. No, it's actually in the mini catalog. It's open weave trim and it's gold. Kind of reminds me of maybe like a spider web, a webbing. It's really, really nice. And a little bit's all you need. And I cut up one of the card bases to make an alternative card, but then also the extra pieces I just cut to put on the front of this little piece that again is part of the Grow with Love bundle, online exclusive. And just a little bit of that. And then of course I use these little itty bitty tiny bee trinkets and I put it on the glue dot. But I actually, before I did that, I rolled the glue dot over onto itself because this is really smaller than that. And when I keep it on this little strip, I don't lose it, right? And so that was the idea behind it. Now also a tip for you, if you have plates that are well used and you run it through, sometimes you're gonna have that indentation or whatever it was before on the one side. So just be aware, and you can totally stamp on this one. But I thought it would be really cute to have this one on there first. So before you assemble your little piece right here, you definitely want to do all your stamping and assembling. do that first. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive and then put that right on top. And then we're going to stamp Hello Spring. And this one I did use my punch for. Hello Spring. Right in the center there. And sometimes with my ink pads, when I stamp with it, it looks like it's still wet. But of course, once it dries, it's a beautiful image. And this one's going to be flat. There we go. Kind of at an angle a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and, well, first I need to, while everything is flat, you're only going to put adhesive on one strip here. And the reason you do that is because otherwise if you put it on both sides, it'll stick. Sadly, I learned that the first couple of times I played with this die. And then this piece you just want to fold over just like that. Stampin' Seal is great adhesive. You I probably should have gotten the Seal Plus. It's a little bit stronger, but it works. This will hold a gift card. Kind of a fun little thing. Oop. There we go. So just pick up that glue dot. A tiny bee, you put them on there and voila. Cute. So, so cute. It's my little 3D alternative. And then this is the next alternative. These are all Athena originals. There's some great samples out there, but I'm always trying to think outside the box and do my own thing. And that's what I did with this one. Now, this one was based on something that Paper Pumpkin shared. It's something very similar, but I did change it up. And I brought in the little tiny bees. And like I said, I pre-stamped and die cut these pieces out ahead of time. And I turned it into a Happy Easter. Now I was gonna put the honeycomb, but I didn't like how it looked. I liked just having that single bee, which again is from the Spring is in the Air dies, which will also coordinate with the March Paper Pumpkin. So that's my first alternative, which is really easy to put together from the pieces that came with the kit. And then, of course, like I said, I've stamped it and I've die cut it out already. And I'm using glue dots. So again, the strip that has the glue dots on them, I'm keeping it together so that I don't lose it on my desk. And that little bee is on there. Now, I did use the adhesive sheets for the bees because it's such a small, fine, intricate detail. To me, it's a little bit less of a mess than using the liquid Tombow, which would be your next alternative for that. And then this one here, it almost has a nice shine to it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little adhesive in the middle. Oops, there's another one. And this is going to go right on top. And then this one's going to go flat. Kind of like the original. And then again, I had previously stamped and die cut out. We're going to put that on there. And this one we're going to stamp Happy Easter. And this is part of the stamp set. So when you have Paper Pumpkin, not only are you getting stamp sets every month, but you're also getting Stampin' Spots. And this is one of the in colors. So there's lots of great reasons to have a monthly Paper Pumpkin subscription. So this one has Happy Easter, Hello Spring. Love this one. And again, we're just using the extra circle piece that came with the kit. So now you have a Happy Easter stamp. And we're definitely going to put this one up on dimensionals. There we go. We're almost using all those dimensionals up. That's awesome. Let's put that right there in the corner. And of course, we want everything to fit in the envelope. So I'm going to need to trim just a tiny bit on each side, which is fine. Just notice that. But as you can see, just a little bit's all you need. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble our little chive flowers. Let's see, we're gonna put one right there. And we're gonna put another one right there. And third one down here. And then a fourth one up here. Last but not least is our tiny bee, which is going to be close to that chive to pollinate it. And then I just figured this needed a little something. So it's got that adhesive sheets that I put through. This take your pick tool is so crucial for pretty much everything in crafting. And there's my take on this one. Super fun, love that one. And then this one we've got is a fun fold. Love fun folds. And so I've done several where, let's see, maybe it's, yeah, I have it right here. So this one, this is the fold I typically would do for paper pumpkins. It's super easy to replicate. You just take the card base, you add an extra score, and then a piece to the front. But I thought, what would it look like if I did it from the other direction? So I did it just like that. I brought in some cardstock, basic beige, and then I cut a card piece in half because again, when you fold it over, the back side doesn't quite look as good as the front one. I don't know how to explain that, but so this one we're going to take that same ribbon and we're going to put a little knot in the middle, which I did there. We're going to stamp to a wonderful friend, and then we're going to stamp a little bit of that stamp there. Using again pieces from the kit. And I just added an extra score line in there, 2 3/4, or fold it back to on itself. Isn't that gorgeous? And so you're just going to add adhesive just to this side. And it is going to be flush, just like that. Very easy fold to replicate, very easy. And then, of course, I just did the die cut from the Grow with Love bundle. I tried doing the stamping, and I realized with rubber stamps, well, with any stamp, it wasn't, I didn't line it up somehow so that it was straight. So instead of taking a chance it would be off again, I just decided to use it as the starting point to build the flowers on here for my alternative. So one of the reasons you should stamp first before you assemble is so if you mess up, you can turn it over. There we go. And then we've got our little knot ready to go. We're going to stamp to a wonderful friend. And again, this one you can totally get a packet. It's thin enough, it'll go through, and send to a friend. So you could send a packet of flowers, pretty much whatever, right? Some wildflowers, bluebonnets. Instead of an actual bouquet in the mail, they could have something that they could plant and hopefully see all year round. To a wonderful friend. Here we go. For a minute there, I lost where I put it. This is fun. Relaxing. Just love to stamp. And Stampin' Up! Makes it easy for anybody to be able to stamp and create beautiful cards. All right, so this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put that one down. Kind of like so. And then we'll put down this one. And then, of course, this little guy we're going to put on dimensionals, or a dimension. It'd be like so. And then we're going to use a glue dot. This one. I do use a lot of glue dots. Just give it a little something to this card. I like how this one turned out. And this one's really easy to replicate. And again, we've got our cute little bumblebee from the add-on. Probably the hardest part is finding the edge on this one. It takes a little bit of patience. I'll find it here in a second. This might be a good time for a little break. If I knew how to fast forward before I uploaded, I would do so for you, but I don't have the skills to figure some of this stuff out. But that's okay. There we go. All right. Now we're going to just put him right here. And we're going to stamp on the inside. And I just got crumb cake out. My beige is kind of a light, almost like a Versamark. So I don't know if I should have maybe called, you know, the first couple of months I got my ink pad, but it's been over a year, so I'll just make do. But crumb cake definitely matches. Just give it a little something for the inside. And there's our card number 2. Alternative. Athena Original. And then this one was the first card I started to play with and decided to turn it into a card. Again, I was just kind of stamping and playing around. Like I showed at the beginning, just to see what the colors look like together. And then this one, Hello Spring, we're going to use the tiny little, I'm calling the ticker tape looking edge right here, this small one. And then again, just bringing in some cardstock and then stamping. and adding all the fun colors here. And this is just a plain regular card base. So let's do some stamping on the outside of this one first. I'm going to use Old Olive. I'm just going to do it on the outer edges. And just kind of turn it around here and there. Just to give it a little something. And again, this is just using the stamp set. And actually there's nothing from the kit. So this basically is to show you you can use the stamps after you've used all of the contents of the Paper Pumpkin kit. That's the purpose behind this alternative that I've created. Okay, let's stamp Hello Spring, which I'm going to need to clean because so far I've been using the pink, or excuse me, Petunia Pop. So let me just clean that real quickly. There we go. And we're going to stamp it on here. Yes. Make sure it's doing that correctly. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Okay. And so we'll set that one aside just for a moment. This one's going to have some dimensionals, or a dimensional. It's kind of a big one there. And so the first thing we're going to stamp on here is the Chive stamp from the stamp set. Just going to stamp it right down the middle. Makes me feel like an artist, even though I'm not. And so the fun part is stamping the flower to the chive. Stamp one there. When I first started to come up with some alternatives, I accidentally used fresh freesia and it was too light, and I realized, whoops, it's Petunia Pop. Isn't that fun? I just love simple stamping like that. It's so easy to replicate. All right, so let's go ahead and build our card. So cute. Put that one right in the middle. This might be the one I take to convention because it's truly an Athena original. Okay, and so this one we're just gonna layer it right on top. So I'm gonna find that sweet spot where it's centered. I'm gonna hold down one side, lift it up, and then add my adhesive. To me, that's a little bit easier than putting the adhesive and then going from there. That's okay. Again, a little adhesive there. And I did it just like that so that I can trim off and not waste too much of this, because this will be just enough for another card later. A little piece right there. All right. And then last, we're going to do the Hello Spring right on top. It's going to cover up that chives. And my alternative is complete, although I wonder, ooh, that would be pretty. Maybe I should just put this little dude right there on both of these. Ha ha ha. It's so cute. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to bring this one because I've not seen anything like it. And this is something I just came up with. For me, it's better just to start playing and stamping first, come up with my own ideas. To me, that's the joy of crafting and creating. Let's see here. Oops. I don't think I got the sweet spot there, but we'll try it over here. Maybe. And then, of course, next week we've got some new online exclusives. They're going to debut. And in 3 weeks, uh-oh, this is not coming out right. Uh-oh. 3 weeks, we have our demonstrator convention. Oh, there we go. Ta-da! Had to find the sweet spot. Okay. So that's exciting for demonstrators. We'll have all kinds of fun techniques and things to share. And swaps. So cute. Almost need another one over here. I don't know. I just like the shine. So alternative number 3. And now are you ready for the fun fold? This is the last one this evening. Again, they're fun, easy folds. Absolutely love this paper pumpkin kit and the really fun designs that I came up with. Now this one here, like I said, I'd had the idea of little packets. So I think what I did one time with the one of the kits before, maybe it was last year, it was, I can't think of the name of the flower, but it was a beautiful flower. Then there was the zinnia, and you make this, these packets the seeds can fit in there. They can fit in any card. So I had that idea, and I wanted to do something with this one that we did a couple of weeks ago with the happy birthday. I shared how to do all of that. So that was my inspiration for the final card tonight. Are you ready for the reveal? It's the chives. And these don't have the flowers on, but that's okay. And it fits perfectly. You can fit a gift card behind there. And so you could see the fold here because I kind of was playing around with the measurements. I used cardstock. So instead of designer paper, like the fancy folds I've done before, I just figured out what the dimensions are. And so I'll show those to you here in just a second, so I can share those with you. Because really, I realized I have all of these pieces that I failed to write what they were to or what they were for. I should be better at that by now, but I do have my little stickies. So we've got our little chives to go on the inside. And all these pieces here. So we're gonna stamp Hello Spring, and then we're gonna stamp those little pieces there. And so this is 4 inches by 11. So normally we would cut on the 8.5 inch side, we would normally cut it at 4 1/4. I cut it at 4 inches so that when it would fold up, it could layer on top of the old olive. Let me see what the, okay. Let me try this way. All right. And then of course, normally it would be 5 1/2, but the first score is 5 1/4 and at 9. 5 1/4 and at 9. Oh, here it is. This is the correct sticky note for this one. So our cardstock is 11 by 4, scored at 5 1/4 and 9 inches. So this one I've not ever seen before, but I knew I wanted to do something that would kind of show that off, and I think this will do it. Just make sure these folding correctly here. And then this piece is going to fold back. And somehow I got some ink. Oh, I think it touched that. Got to be careful. Get my bone folder. That'd be so much easier. There we go. And of course, we are going to stamp directly on here first. And then we're going to use this really beautiful gold ribbon, which I've been using for all my cards tonight, the Open Weave Gold Trim. But first, we're going to stamp with Crumb Cake, because I wanted a little brown, but I didn't want like the espresso, which is really dark. So I figured Crumb Cake was a good one. Let's first cover up some of those that had a little bit of that petunia pop on it by accident. There we go. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, here it is. We're going to get our old olive now. I'm going to put this underneath because we're going to just stamp the leafy part right down here. Hopefully you can see that. Ink that up. I'm going to kind of have a higher chive there. And I have to say, this old olive stamped onto the basic beige, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's a great, great combination of color. Love it. Okay, that looks amazing. And then next, we're gonna we're going to stamp our petunia pop. Gotta be careful. I'm getting ink on everything. Okay. So again, we've got the chive flowers. Beautiful. Love that petunia pop. And then of course we're going to stamp right over and onto, and some of this is going to be covered up, but that's okay. It's perfectly fine. But I really love how this has turned out. Let's see, maybe one there. I think that's going to do it for that one. Now to hold this all together, I'm going to wrap this around, and it's going to overlap just a tiny little bit on the bottom there. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, really love the combination of the colors here. And then it's about 8 inches for this ribbon. There we go. Just a little dot. Make sure that's not curled over onto itself. Oh yeah, that looks good. And then our card base piece is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Just stop and think what the measurement was. Just want to center it. This is a great way to make sure I don't have extra ink on my fingers. We'll go ahead and adhere this one down. It's going to go right like there. And then we're going to stamp Hello Spring, which let me clean it again because I don't remember what the color was. Okay, there we go. Love it. All right. So this card, the basic beige, is 11 by 4, and I scored it at 5 1/4 and at 9 inches. And we're going to put this one on dimensionals, or a dimensional. Right there. No bees for this card, but it's so cute. I love how this turned out. And again, you can put all kinds of little seed packets, flowers. And that's my 3D alternative. This was so much fun, this kit. And it was, to me, the easiest cards to come up with samples. And Athena Originals. Love that when that happens. And this is, again, just using the contents. There's just the one piece was left over from the content of the kit, but using the stamps later, you can create other things, you know, other cards. That's an example of that. This is an example. So here's all of my alternatives that I came up with. So fun. I'm loving all of these. So much fun. Then our little packet that would hold a gift card. And then, of course, our 3 cards from the kit. And these fancy, fancy envelopes. And that, my friends, is the Paper Pumpkin Kit for February 2025. And 3, or was it 4? And then this little guy, alternatives. So hopefully you guys are inspired to get your kits out and make it. If you missed the kit, you can definitely get the Grow with Love bundle and create something very similar, creating your own backgrounds, just like the cards and the card bases. So much fun. And of course, don't forget the add-on, because that adds another level of fun to the stamping process. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Happy stamping!